an opinion thing. I mean, I'm a data guy. Ask Josh, like he'll laugh about it because everything I do is like calculated, logical, based on data and statistics. So the stats are you don't beat the S&P 500 a majority of times. So for the average Joe, right? If you have a full-time job, you can't watch the markets every day. Sometimes it's better to just put your money in a broad-based ETF and earn that 7 to 10% a year on average, because there's a phrase, I'm sure you've heard of it, Josh knows it, time in the market is better than timing the market. And so basically it's just shown over time that if you let your money sit in there, then trying to time the lows and the highs and try to trade them, you tend to perform better than the average trader. So again, it just depends on you, because this is a perfect example with our program. We have people that are 18 in our program and people that are up to 60, right? Very wide range. And some of them are coming in and they're planning on retiring in a year or two, and others have 40, 50 years till they retire, right? So, I mean, the younger you are, the more risk you can take on because you have a longer time frame to earn it back. The older you are, you probably don't want to take that much risk if you're planning to retire in a year, because let's say COVID, that wasn't expected, right? But look what happened. No matter your stance on it, I mean, it crashed the markets, things shut down. So if you're planning to retire 2 years ago and you had all your money in the market, well, that crash happens. And then you're like, what do I do? Do I sell out? Do I take a 40% hit on my money? And now I got to wait another 5-6 years till I retire. What do you do? Because we got lucky. The market rebounded quickly, but a lot of past crashes, it didn't. So you never know when the market's going to take a hit and for how long it's going to take a hit for. So it just depends on the individual, I would say.
Yeah, I remember that, man, because like with our business, we do a lot of high-end ticket stuff. So it's not very subscription-based like your guys, but it'll be anywhere from like a 60K to like a 300K like item. So we have a lot of leads that are coming through. And during that period, we had the same response for like a whole month or two of like, dude, like I can't invest in your thing anymore because I just lost half of my net worth overnight. And I was just like, okay, like makes sense. But no matter what, as long as you're saying, as long as you kind of hold out. Now, look, I don't know how long 2008 stayed or whatever, but this was a quick rebound, luckily. But at the most, historically speaking, you'd have to hold out, like 3-5 years. But as long as you don't sell, you're okay, basically.
Yeah, and it depends the market. I mean, if you look back at the housing crisis, like you said, 2007, 2008, you have some stocks that took 10 years to recover. You had other ones that took a year. So, I mean, it just, look at the banks. I mean, the banks are a perfect example. Some of them still haven't recovered. I mean, Citi, Bank of America, like all these major ones, I mean, they still struggle to this day. They're not back at their old highs. They were. So it's not just a cut or dry. It also depends on what sector are you in,
Got it. Okay. So I think this interview is going perfect. So it's like, now we have the fundamentals. And then I feel like, Josh, you come in and you're like, looking, we could talk about Nancy. I want us to talk about Nancy Pelosi. Let's just do it. So like how, well, first, as much as you're willing to share, because obviously, you guys have, something that people pay for to see. So like, how do you do it? Like, how do you find out what Pelosi or someone else is going to buy?
So it's not so much that that's what people are paying for, is that type of access to information, because that information is available to anybody. I mean, you could go look that up right now if you wanted to. There's tons of financial disclosures, and legally they have to report what they're buying. That's just part of being in Congress. Like, that's something that they're required to do. Some people, though, what the concerns are, I'm going to start with the concerns, because this is what when I look at my comments and stuff like that, in my videos that I make, some of the biggest questions I get are, what about the trade delays? So even though I see that Nancy Pelosi bought this stock today, when did she actually buy it? That's a concern. Did she buy it 5 years ago? Did she buy it 2 years ago? Did she buy it yesterday? So the trade delay can be a big problem, because if she buys at a much different price and it's already taken off, then there's no point in me also getting into the trade.